Shanam Shende, Senior Brand Marketing Manager at Hygienic Research Institute. So may I welcome Shanam? Yeah, Shanam. So the topic is interesting. It's purpose and innovation. So we are excited to know because that is one area that we really haven't touched much, especially the purpose part, the why part, right? So we are excited to learn more from you, and the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. This is a marketing session, so I need the energy to be at the top for this particular session. So, good afternoon, everyone. Fine, better. So, I am Shanam Shende, and I am going to take the session today on building brands with purpose and innovation. We are going to cover a little basic about the topics, then we are going to dwell deep into how the brands have been created, after that how the brand equity can be created, and finally a little more about the innovation on the topic, and we will take a few questions if there are any. Yeah? So in the next 45 minute session, you will be end up at least understanding a few go-to-market strategies and the brand building and creating the brand ethics for your product. So first and foremost, the very important question is, what is a brand? Is it a name? Is it a logo? Is it a tagline? And that's it. The answer is no. It is much more beyond than that. A brand is always an imagery that your public is created towards your product or towards your service. It is also helping you to differentiate yourself in the market which has been cluttered by the competition. Yeah? Why it is important to build a brand? Because that will help you to give a positive attitude impression towards your target audience. Aside to that, that will also help you to gain new customers and most importantly, retaining your existing customer in the long run. So let's see what all the parameters which need to understand. We will start with the brand strategy development, which is an STP model. This is a very important statistics which I had come across recently, which says personalization can reduce the cost of customer acquisition by 50% and increase market spend efficiency by 30%. And I am sure most of you would have not got this. And I hope that by the end of the session, you will be able to understand what insights we are trying to fetch out of it, yeah? So moving ahead, first is the segmentation. What is the segmentation? Is the area or the market which you want to divide into where you are ready to address to your consumer. Next is about targeting. Whom do you want to target? Determine that customer group is the targeting. And third is positioning. This is a very important segment where a lot of brands do struggle. And it is about creating your imagery where the customer will consider your product. So we will talk about all of these three in depth. The first two are very important from brand strategy creation point of view. And positioning is important from brand identity and brand marketing point of view. I'll take all of this in detail. First and foremost, starting with marketing segmentation. So what is a marketing segmentation? Is to separate your customer base into several different audiences. Now, I have a little bit of experience in the industry. I would like to take you through that example. So there was a time when I was working with Tata Consumers and I was launching a product which was into nutrition-based, ready-to-cook products, okay? Now, to give a little brief about the products were into ready to cook. They were the products like ragi-based mixes, idli mixes, dosa mixes, chilla mixes. We wanted to take it to the market for the launch and the scale-up. Now, for such products, what needs to be the differentiator? Because it comes from the brand like Tata, there has to be always something unique. Tata is known for the trust mark, right? Anything coming from the house of Tata needs to be validated. And this research and the legal aspects of it are very strong because it is representing the brand name. So the most important what I had to do is about the segmentation in the geographical area. Where do I go to sell these products? That's an important question. What I did at that point of time, I selected different channels. So channels, when I say, is the sales channels. One was about the general trade market where we as a brand was very strong, so we have taken those market to understand the feedback about the product because our infrastructure was very strong in that market. Second is about the sales channel through modern trade. When you say modern trade, it is about Reliance, Spencer's and other modern minded stores and outlet. So we have picked up one of a chain where their top 50 products we have picked up, and we wanted to reach out to them and take the feedback from the consumers about our product. Third is e-commerce, which is of course blooming a lot. So we reached out to two of the marketplaces where we listed this product. So this is very clear that which are the market where I want to go. And why do I have chosen this market is definitely because after launching, I will also be able to get the feedback out of it. Most important things which we tend to forget is that take as much insights on your brand, as much insights on your product. That is really very important. Next, moving is now, whom do I go and sell? Who is going to be my target audience? How do I decide that? Age is one of an important thing because ready to cook kind of a product is for those who want convenience, right? You want to eat an idli or a dosa or any dhokla or khichdi, but at the same point of time, you don't have time to do all that process to soak it for 24 hours and then you make a product. It needs a pre-preparation. So the consumers who are in the age between 24 to 40, that's the right age. Income aspect, a higher income slotting because the products with a little premium in the segment, so they are able to pay that little premium for the quality and the trust factor which comes from brand Tata. After that, there are certain very important claims which was our differentiator. We had mentioned that the product does not have any kind of preservatives or colors in it. We had also said a lot claims on the product mentioning that the products are rich in protein and rich in fiber. Now these consumers do need to understand all these things, so that is my demographic which I had been able to clutter. Psychographic, who are these consumers? That they are maybe health conscious, they are fitness freak, or maybe they are looking for some change in their routine. They are ready to accept new products in their life. So that's how the lifestyle habits or the hobbies are being featured. And behavioral. Nowadays, we all know that whatever we are doing on Google or YouTube or any other social media platform, our habits are getting tracked, right? They know what are our choices, what are we browsing. Today, you search something on Google and the next moment you will start getting those ad of relevant brands. So that is how the demographic is so strong in this e-commerce world. So again, the demographic, the behavioral has been considered in that extent. So here, I guess we are clear that how are we segmenting our market. Next important is how are we targeting our customer. So identifying the segment which are actively growing and has high profitability and low cost of acquisition. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. So when you say about targeting is the size of the business. Any category will have a particular ladder of size of the business, which is say X crores of business. So this is the full potential where it is gonna be. Now the profitability includes a lot of factors. These are the stages we should initially try and capture for your brand. Why? Because later in the stage, if you realize that you are not competent enough, unless and until you have very differentiating factor about your product, this will be a failure. You will not be able to understand the profitability for your product, which includes your price and the cost, operating margin, and the net profit which you want to derive for. That, of course, depends from product and different service sectors. Reachability is most important. Many of the brands, especially in the startup ecosystem, what we see is that many of the new brands, they get the funding, they invest in, they pull in big investors, they pull in big celebrities, which they cost, they do a lot of campaigns. But every company who are very thoughtful, they always think of A to S ratio, which is advertising to spend, which is how much of that component or the percentage factor as a company you are going to spend on your campaign or any of our marketing or media or promotional inputs for your brand. So these are very key important factors which needs to be considered. Just to take an example of TAM, SAM, SOM, it's very easy to recall. So the total available market is the size of the market. Right now I am working in a hair color category. The category in India size is around 6,000 crores. So that is the total available market. Now that category will have many sub-segments into it. It will be a henna-based color or creme-based color or shampoo-based color or any other factors which will like oil-based colors. So those are the different formats. They will also have those shares in the 6,000 crores. Now I am into creme category and shampoo hair color category, which is 30% of the market segment. So how much that turns up? It's around 300, like 1800 crores, right? Out of 1800 crores, because the segmentation which I had done in the previous slide, which I have shown that the geography wise, the demographic wise, psychography wise, it will further cut down. Now I am saying I'll be only able to take 30% of it. Yeah, or say 20% of it. Let's consider 20% as the average size. So I'll be able to service only 360 crore of business out of the pool of 6,000 crore, which is the total available market. So we need to understand what is my infrastructure, what is my strength, where all I can go and reach out, which all platform can help me to derive what all profitability, and basis on that I should further divide my industry. Next is market positioning. Create points of parity and points of differences to achieve competition advantage. Now, positioning is very important for any brand to enter into the market. Why is that so? Because there are already some brands who have their own strengths, right? You are trying to, the best and the strong brands are the one who are trying to be the best at that parity level. And you also need to have some parity or differences of your own brand, which will give you an edge over the competition. So that's where the positioning lies. So first of all, when we are seeing here that we need to have something very unique about our product. When you say we need to understand the gaps which are there in the market. Let's take an example of, say, Boat. Boat started their business by starting making those charger cables for the Apple devices, which were getting deteriorated over the period of time, right? So that is where they have identified that there is a gap, and basis on that, this thought process where they have made a very robust kind of a charger which will help consumer has given that identity of the brand, that this brand is very reliable. On top of that, they started later on with the products like headphones or the watches. So the positioning of the brand is kept in a way now that this brand is reliable first. Second is you can use it anywhere. So identifying the needs in the market, further building your USP, which is reliability in case of Boat, further communicating it to your consumer also in the same length of languages is also important. You're thinking something else, but because your customer is asking for something else, cannot marry this. You need to give the customers what exactly they've been asking for, what are their needs for. So apart from that, you also always need to have a watch at what competitions are doing. As much you know of your company, your brand, your products, you need to know equal depth of information about the competition as well, which is very important. Most important, you can also always plot a graph of, say, price and the quality, where exactly what all brands are falling into which all placement. That is important. Where are you seeing yourself? Are you a little price premium? What is that edge giving you that you're charging that premium, say 10%, 20%? What are those factors? Why are you giving them that additional cost charges? Or if you are at low cost, why are you cost at lower? Is that where you want to build your brand? Okay, it's not a problem that you're charging your product at lower length, but then you will be able to reach out to more consumers, and you need to justify, okay, though I am a low cost product, but I am delivering the same kind of service or the quality which has been required by you. Was one example which I would like to give here. I also worked for Starbucks for a while, where we had, I mean, you know, when we go to Starbucks, it's not only about sipping a coffee. It is all about the experience that we go through once you enter in a Starbucks cafe. So you get that aroma of the beans, you are able to taste the coffee, you sitting on a very comfortable chair, the environment is really good, the crowd around there is good. So entirely Starbucks is giving you an experience. When I was working for one of a division in spices category with Tata Sampann, we had collabed with Starbucks and we had been able to curate the products which we see there while ordering along with the tea or coffee. So that is where I could realize that how tough it is to understand what consumers are expecting reaching to Starbucks. It needs to be, of course, very good in terms of taste, in terms of quality, but also the way it is being shown to the consumer. That is the packaging of the product, or the way or the feel or the look of the product is also very important. So that is giving Starbucks that edge that they are charging you a little premium, and also delivering the promises which they have kept for their product. So next we are moving, because I wanted to cover this topic because we are into startup environment, and building a brand equity is a real game changer. It can be a game changer because you will be able to give more value to your customer and also to the investors. So the building blocks are always based on what consumers seek of you, what they perceive about you. So consumer perception on the quality and also on the desirability, what they have from your brand, they'll always build on the loyalty. And loyalty will end up in the retention in the long run. First and foremost is the brand imagery. I have put in an example of Apple. We have seen that how imagery of the brand has grown over the time. Still, everybody knows Apple for the innovation aspect. Stay relevant in the society, where the messaging of the company needs to be the same throughout. Marketing mix, we will cover this in detail because this is one of an important pillar or graph. Most important, focus on your loyal customer. Okay, gaining new customer is one game, but retaining them for the long run is very, very tough, because there are so many competition markets or brand available in the market, and you need to be very consistent about it. So I'm covering now the brand imagery. We are taking an example of Coca-Cola here. Why Coca-Cola is not only because that's world's biggest beverage company, but it is also a very influential brand altogether. When I say influential, it comes with the statistics that 94% of the world's population know what Coca-Cola stands for. It is a really big number that 94% of the world's population knows that Coca-Cola is known for the joy and the happiness what the brand wants to serve to their consumers. Now, if you see the brand logo and color, which is most important part of a brand imagery, so the brand logo has evolved over the years. There is a time, if you have seen in 1985, when Coca-Cola tried to change their brand imagery by changing the way they plug their logo name, the way the fonts are. And they have dipped down in the sales because consumers were not able to relate with this new Coca-Cola written or a Coke written on a brand. They thought this is a different product altogether, and they were not happy with it. Again, Coca-Cola had to go back and revive and work on their new logo, which we can see with the white band below. Okay, so that's one of a very important understanding, that once the consumer is connected with your brand, you cannot just play around it as is the way you want it. It always comes with the consumer perception. Next is about brand color. We have always seen this red color and we recall of Coca-Cola. Like from the childhood, we might be seeing this branding done at the different positioning or the points in the market, or anywhere, even at the bus shelters, we could see that. The color red says a lot. It is a color of energy, it is a color of passion. It is also said that red color is known to have more of conversion ratios in the brand building. Now there are so many colors, and there is a color theory which is associated with our psychology. So whenever you have to decide on any of your brand color, please go through it, what your brand principally and values and purpose stands for. Basis on that, you can choose the color of it. One very interesting story also which I would like to say in terms of the product of Coca-Cola. There was a research which has been done, and where the product blind test study was done with Pepsi, which is their main rival. Consumers actually liked the product which was served by Pepsi. But the fact is that they've been asked, which product do you like to go and buy? They said that Coca-Cola. It is just out of the connect or the emotions or the experiences they have with the brand that is making them to stick to the brand. Apart from the logo color, font, and tagline, there are other aspects like pack design. Even if the logo is not printed on it, sometimes we can definitely say that this is a product of Coca-Cola. So that is another identity of the product. Brand also started playing a lot around the brand portfolio extensions. Like they're always, one product is successful, we would like to launch another products around it. But how successful that could be, or there should not be any overlapping so that the consumers are not confused about it. One such example is Coca-Cola again, where Diet Coke and sugar-free Coke were launched. Their packaging was looking so similar as Coke that the customer got very confused, and they started calling to the customer service center that why the taste has changed. And again, they had to redo it, and they had changed the packing, and they have come back. So playing with your brand is not as easy as we think of. Okay, I like today that the green is the color of this era, and I will use green as on my pack design. It's not going to help, because it comes with your certain brand imagery and brand identity which is stuck there with your consumers for over the long reasons. Apart from that, whatever the communication or the association the brand has is always about joy and happiness. Whenever we see any of their campaigns, we always see that it is more about celebration. In US, it is said that the Christmas doesn't start unless and until they see a big bus or a van with Coca-Cola branding on it. So Coca-Cola says it, and then the winter starts, was the example. The tagline is another example. There was a research which has been done saying that earlier the tagline of the brand was about open happiness. So whenever you open a Coke bottle, it gives you happiness. That's the idea. But that tagline was not working for the brand. The reason being, it has no mention on the product. It was not saying anything about the product. That was taking away the entire notion of association with the brand. So the brand has redone it and saying it now, taste of feeling, taste for emotion, sorry. So now then they are connected with the brand. It is about seeping it and enjoying it and connecting with the brand. We have always seen that a lot of celebrities or the different Bollywood actresses are associated with the brand. We will all recall the kind of tagline which they had made in between 2000 eras, where Thanda matlab Coca-Cola is always been known widely, right? So we all are very associated. So most important parameter here is brand always are associated with tangibly or intangibly. You know it or you don't know it. There is always a persona which is built in your mindset, which is there that you know, okay, this brand cannot do this. Very important with the audiences who like Disney or who like Star Wars. They are very particular about, no, my hero, superhero, or the Spider-Man, this or that characters which they can affiliate to. So they are relating their persona with that. Even in the interior towns, we can see that the branding is being done. Even in the remote location, we could find Coca-Cola as a brand available, right? Next is about stay relevant. Strong brands always stay on the leading edge in the product arena and tweak their intangible to fit the times. Here we are going to take an example of one of a very known brand of India, which has created that buzz, which has created that buzz, uh, okay, which has created that buzz of almost say marking to 1 lakh per share in the market, and that is nothing more than MRF tires, Madras Rubber Factory. So the brand imagery is about who are the users, what are you giving to the users, what all the brand personalities are there, and how are they connecting with the brand. This is the segment which I wanted to take in depth. How much more time? Okay, so this is an important segment, so that's something I would like to cover in a little depth. Yeah, so the marketing mix is about combining different elements of marketing to understand the customers and to study their market needs so that you are able to deliver the best of the marketing campaigns. So we have product, places, price, and promotions. Most of the products and the services are created to solve the consumer's real world problems. Places are again different channels where you can reach out to say GT, MT, e-commerce, platforms like online, offline, which you have to decide. Pricing is about competition, scheming, value-based, dynamic, demand-based, and the promotions which you can do through ATL or BTL or digital or on-ground or e-commerce platform. Brand innovation is brand innovation is an important stages where a brand goes for a new product development, where the most important is the idea generation. You develop an idea which is more in line with the brand offering. You do the research, you understand how much is the market size available, what is the opportunity there. Most important, you research on the competition as well. You concept development is an important aspect where you do a prototyping of what kind of a product gonna be there, what all the things gonna be inside it, how much is that going to cost to your product, what all the pricing that you are going to be make it as a derivative of it. Aside to that, next is marketing strategy development, where we are working on the GTM plans of the go-to-market plans, where you know that which market you want to capture and for how much of the time which you're gonna give it to the market, and taking the feedback back, going to the lab again and reworking on the brand and coming back and building a strong business analysis and coming back with the commercialization. One example which I would give you here is that when we worked on one of a product, we worked almost 2.5 or 3 years on the product. We created an amazing product. Later we worked on everything, customer feedback been taken, everything, it was ready to launch. But in the end stage, we realized that we are not making the profit because of the competition which is there, and we are not able to mark down at that pricing what competition is offering. So we had to skip that project. So it is always important to understand the different elements and when you are where you are placing yourself. So yeah, that's all from my side. Any more questions? Any questions from your end?
Hi, thank you. My name is Ijaz. I'm running a startup called Access. We are a health tech aggregator platform. Health tech aggregator platform for diagnostic space. So my question is, we are a 2-year-old startup. We are having early traction. Now we would like to rebrand it or reposition it to premium category from middle to premium. And we already having a website, mobile application, marketing collaterals. So how difficult it is to rebranding, or what is the expected setbacks while we do the rebranding? Like now we have to change the branding, logo, colors, marketing collaterals, everything considering the premium segment. So how it is going to impact our existing customers primarily?
If you have already decided that rebranding is something which you are you wanting to
yes,
do it,
yes.
there is always a way of doing it. you can keep the existing element with yourself, say the logo or the color or the identity of it, but build the messaging around it is so stronger that the premium segment competition who is there, what are they talking? What are their talking points and what all the problems that they are solving, and map against that what is your unique offering which is making you a chance or an edge to be into that premium segment. What is that you are giving very different to your consumers now which you were not giving before, and you should be able to justify that, only that you are charged for the premium, right?
So there won't be any changes in the charge, but look and feel has to be changed.
Yeah, so that's again the logo, or I do not know how old your brand is, entirely depends on what equity you had been able to develop around it. If it is a really known brand, I think should not be taken away the work which had been done. But if it is a very niche and very new, you can really think of rebranding it, because that gives you entirely a different world look about it. You yourself will be able to derive more purpose and missions and the value specifically in the healthcare sector, what you can give it to your consumers or the in the service segment. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
My name is Anila Tilak. I have a personal brand called Growth Hunt, okay, in the sector of EdTech. So I consider me as a creatorpreneur. You know the term creatorpreneur, creator plus entrepreneur. I'm a content creator, okay. So the importance of value creation for building a brand, how you look up to that, and how to create the value in people.
Would like to give a little generic answer because also the other audiences are here. So when you talk of value creation, which you want to understand, value creation is definitely about, uh, let me give you an example of, say, Visa is one of a brand, right? They are into the credit cards. They are giving you that as one of a service. But apart from that, because you are using Visa, you are also liable for the other fulfillment
services,
factors or the convenience or the you are able to pay it to any other platform. These are the additional things that brand is giving you in terms of association with the brand, right? So this is an example of how can you create value for your consumer. Value creation is all about what additional you are giving to others, to the consumers, which others are not giving to your their own brand in that particular segment. So that's
It is.
yeah.
Hello.
Hope I have answered it well.
So, because of the lack of time, the other questions maybe we can take offline and you know. So, yeah, so thank you so much for the wonderful session. I know I have interfered in between, but I think you probably covered everything, and it makes a lot of sense. So, from apart from all this, we want to show the love. So we have a token of love for you. So that let me have it. So thanks a lot. She will be available offline. I'm sure that I cut it in between because of the lack of time. So please feel free to get in and read it.
Thank you so much. You had been a lovely audience. Thank you so much.
Right.